So hey, day one of Engineer Week went pretty good, right? I think it went pretty good. I mean, I went gunslinger mostly, and I like got a bunch of kills by just playing kind of like a dummy, but it kind of worked. But I don't really know if I like was really embracing the engineer life, embracing the engineer lifestyle. So for day two of the engineer week, let's say I got something planned, all right? And let me show you the plan. Boom. Oh, I gotta update the goal. Sorry. Day two goal. Hold on. Wait. Day two goal. Learn. Wait. Learn. Adapt. Overcome. NG. Hold on. That's the one. Today we're going to learn, we're going to adapt, we're going to overcome, and we're going to NG. It's just that simple. That is all we're going to be doing today. And for that reason, or for that point, here's what I got us. I got us literally a bunch of guides. I got a guide from 10 years ago on Reddit called How the Hell Do You Play Engineer? And there's a bunch of people that probably gave really good advice. You know, if there's one thing you can trust on is the TF2 subreddit. They always say stuff that makes sense. Then I got one from 9 months ago. So we got old school engineer advice, new school engineer advice, right? One or the other. And then we got, again, a guide from 2014 on how to play engineer, a Steam guide, which, I mean, Steam guides, they're always helpful, right? When have they never not been helpful? And one from 2017. So I guess I didn't get a very recent Steam guide, but. And then to end off this school session, because this is essentially just a school session where we learn about the engineer class, school's back in business. To end it off, we got Uncle Dane. Because how the heck can I understand the engineer class if we don't watch some Uncle Dane, right? So we got, we'll choose some videos, okay? I already saw someone linked, I think it was Andre, linked the guide to Combat Engineer, which is, I think we're going to watch that one too. Maybe not, because it's 1 hour. I mean, we'll see. But yeah. Day one, I did pretty decently with sentry placement at least. True. That was, I think I did okay, right? I did okay with playing engineer, but I wasn't really doing the rollout. I wasn't really putting my sentries and teleporters where they should be. Same with dispensers. So yeah, let me get some music. How about freaking Brain Age music extended? How about that? Brain Age music extended. Why am I scooping guides from the Silver Age? Because I'm a boomer, so I believe in the boomers. Because I am one. Dude, Brain Age, probably the best we can get, right? In terms of music. Main menu, Brain Age music extended. Dude, I can already feel my brain expand. All right. And as soon... Hold on, let me get also can I make autoplay work? I can't. Right, I turned it off. I have an add-on for that. Either way, when this song ends, we'll get another song. And I actually literally have right here a paste bin called Engineer Notes, and we're going to take notes. It's that simple. So we're going to read, and we're going to take notes. So everyone take out your freaking reading glasses, your pen, your pencils. I guess your keyboard and computer can also be used for notes, some would say. But for now, let's get into it. How the hell do you play engineer? You've heard of it. That unstoppable sentry on red that no one can destroy kills you instantly as soon as you poke your head out to fire at it, and 100 rockets can't put a dent in it. That is not my sentry gun. Relatable. That's me also. That is how I do it also. I feel like I have a decent grip on every class in the game except for one. After 2,500 hours of play, I have about 4,700, so I'm a little double of this, I suppose. Almost. I still cannot for the life of me figure out how to play engineer. I've watched every video, read every guide on Steam. Oh, that's what we're gonna do also. I still can't do it. Got my sentry. I get my sentry to level 3 during setup time, place it where everyone else places it, yet I can't keep it alive. One soldier walks in, the gun's blown to pieces in less than a second. I don't even have enough time to turn around and shoot a rescue ranger shot. I leave for 1 second to go get metal, and all of a sudden, the whole team's right there. Enemy team. If I try setting it up in a more safe location, it never does anything, but as soon as I try to move it 10 feet forward, someone shows up to destroy it before it can deploy. Just every time. Dude, I'm relating to these paragraphs so much. And yeah, you are right, Lalis. This is the music of the best assist trophy. True. So anyway, so just how the hell do I play this class? Is there something crucial I'm missing? My sentry just feels so vulnerable. I feel like I can't look away for a second without it going down. Any tips would be greatly appreciated before I go completely insane. Thanks. Alright. I do have all of these same issues, so please help me like you helped Hey Lex. Okay. I'm sure you'll get more detailed responses from other, but I find that the best defense I have as an engineer is to play aggressively. Okay. Depending on the game type, I frequently set up my nest and then use my shotgun to put damage on any classes in the vicinity. By doing this, you don't allow soldiers or demomen to significantly damage your sentry without putting themselves in danger. Find that I can lure many players into my nest by shooting them with the shotgun and then retreating back into my nest once they have taken damage. This makes it easier for your sentries to finish them off and more difficult for them to peek and pop your nest. Find that too many engineers simply sit right back by their sentry and neglect to use their shotgun effectively. If I see one sticky land next to my sentry, I'm going to destroy it with my shotgun and start heading in that direction to try and stop them from putting out enough to destroy the nest. Many players think they can simply sit there and repair the damage done when this is a stalemate. When this is a stalemate at best, and very often a recipe for the death of yourself and the loss of your equipment. Okay, so it's a lot of words, but essentially what he's saying is, you should set up your nest, and then you should go and engage with enemies, but you only kind of like boop. You kind of just like boop, 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 boop. Like you just take pot shots at them, right? Then when you take pot shots and they try and chase after you, they'll chase right into your sentry. That makes sense. Okay, so how do I do this then? So how do we type that? How do we turn that into a thing? All of them try. Oh right, random spread. Yeah, random spread to do the thing. It's okay. You just have to get directly above the sentry. Oftentimes, engineers try turtling. If it works, it works if the enemy team doesn't know how to counter. You really want to be out with your team. Out with your team. Okay. Ever throw about a time me and my buddy Keith tried to deep fry turkey? 30-degree burns over 9% of his body. Yo, why are you referencing Left 4 Dead right now? I guess it's a foul franchise, just like TF2. Anyway, hi Johannes, and hi Cal. Are we doing good? Cal, I got Reddit posts explaining how to play engineer. I got Steam guides explaining how to play engineer. And I even got the top YouTuber that does engineer videos only, and it's done for the 10 last years with guides. Do I have skills? No. Why would I need guides if I have skills? That's why they exist. I will get skills when I read these guides. That's how it works. Anyway, so TLDR, this guy is saying, lure enemies into your nest by taking pot shots at them and having them chase you. That's a good start. Lewis, if you don't stop being positive, I'm gonna sink the boats just to make you sad. The only play you engineer, play it your own way, don't mind what people say. Well, the way I play engineer is by dying over and 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 over again. And over again, and over again, and over again. My Biden bum? Wanna know about the viral sound with that Keith line? Did a Left 4 Dead meme go viral? That's sick. Sharing pots with them? I mean, I'm just translating what they said. Anyway. And the reply to this is this guy. I absolutely agree. From the other perspective, it's so hard as a demo man soldier to get any kind of solid hit on a sentry gun when his engineer is jumping around, hitting you with his shotgun, and screwing you with your aim. As long as the engineer doesn't overextend, die and leave his gun unprotected, the offensive engineer strategy either forces the attacker to chase him and get gunned down or retreat, leaving the sentry intact to take out those who still don't know about it. The offensive engineer strategy is also great for when you're moving your sentry. Move in position, stick it down, then instead of crouching behind it and hitting it with your wrench, hoping you don't get attacked, aka the sitting duck strategy, or turtling, as TF2 community usually calls it, advance a little, not too far, and with your shotgun force people back for those crucial few seconds it takes for your sentry to fully build. Okay, so he's just saying more of the same. So, make a nest, and then just inch your way forward a little bit to make people like come to you and to your sentry. So, all right, I think that's good. Good first note. Dude, my throat is kind of I don't know what happened. My throat's kind of sore. And it's bad because today is the day where we're just gonna be reading a lot. But anyway. Oh, good step. Step 1, Wrangler. Step 2, practice. Uh-oh. This is becoming a 10-year-old post real quick, real fast. Maybe try slowly moving a level 3 sentry up through a map as blue on payload or CTF. Learn where you should put the sentry down before the enemy gets to it. If I ever see a medic heavy or demo combo pushing forward, I usually try and push the sentry behind them. What? Slowly move a level 3 sentry as blue? Anywhere the colored sphere doesn't touch, you can get spammed from. I don't get that note. That note is a little confusing. Level 3 sentries on blue payload are a waste. If your team is doing their job, they will spend more time waiting for your sentry to build than actually helping your team. If your sentry level 1 or 2, you'll help your team a lot more. Only build your sentry level 3 if you can expect the enemy team to make a big push, or if they are stalemating you in a certain area. I have heard some people say this to me before, that I shouldn't be upgrading to level 3, only level 2, and if it's like we really have the time, we go level 3 after, so maybe. Pinged you with a TikTok with the viral sound. Okay, after the stream, I'll look at that Left 4 Dead viral meme. What? Keep in mind where the other enemy team is and base your placement on that as well. My brother told me about level 2 being way better. Something about rockets interrupting shots. Oh, true. I guess one is shooting rockets, not firing. All right, let's add that as a note then. Maybe focus less on getting level 3 sentry and be satisfied with having a level 2 most of the times. Right? That's a good note, I think. Good note, good note. Oh my gosh. Okay. Big notes time. And true that, yeah, you're right, Andre. You're right. Upgrade from 1 to 2 is better than 2 to 3. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, it becomes way stronger from 1 to 2, and it becomes a little stronger from 2 to 3. So obviously, one is more valuable than the other. Not that the rockets are worthless, but... And also the extra HP. Don't forget that level 3s do have extra HP, which isn't non-valuable. Don't forget. But also, yeah, true. Anyway, my own experience, I've mained NG for years, but by no means I'm a pro. Oh my gosh, that's Uncle Dane. Alt account. My voice feels weird today. Excuse me. Teleporter is your #1 build. If you have teammates rolling through your tellies, you're in great shape. I've top scored on teleporter support alone. I've heard about this also. That like essentially teleporters, what is it? Teleporters win games, right? Like what was it? Sentries get kills, dispensers save lives, teleporters win games, right? Isn't that like the saying that they say somewhere? Rockets can be shot with gun, but there can be counters like a pyro reflecting the rockets as well, or it takes more metal because of the rockets. It's still preference, but not focusing on sentries is a good tip. That tip is applicable for every single building. What I mean is that level 3 stops shooting to shoot the rockets. Yeah. Oh, hi Club Chemistry, hello. I'm learning. We're all learning and finding out notes about engineer. Okay, so this guy is saying, telling us that he's top scored on teleporter support alone, and I mean, day 4 and day 5, I do want to top score a lot. So, I mean, what would that note look like though? Teleporters are pretty valuable, by the way, smiley face. Right? Invaluable, maybe? Right? How about maybe focus a lot on getting teleporters built? Because I never built, dude, I never care about my teleporters. Ever. I never do. I'm just out there, just mini and shotgun. Don't even get me started on the dispenser. Yeah, Eureka effect, yeah. You should level 3 the telly and the dispenser. You should level 2 the teleporter, get at least a level 1 dispenser, and then choose the area we want to deny with a sentry. Okay. Well, let's, I guess, okay, for now, teleporters, you know? To at least level 2. There you go. More broadly, good nests have team support, which means your team is nearby. Too often, NGs will nest up way behind the front lines, thinking they're protected. They're not. No, that doesn't apply to engineers, but that's different and advanced way to play. True. Sentries are shot. These are not your nest's sole line of defense. Your team helps too. That's a good note. Place your nest in a place where your team can help to defend it. Right? That seems like a good one. Place your nest in a place where your team can help to defend it. Right? Yeah, well, okay, good note, I think. Beware of how the combat NG works. Drop buildings in key places, generally separated rather than a nest. Don't upgrade them, and use your shotgun and wrangler to attack. Even a traditional NG should understand this style of play, as it's often useful on last big pushes when the clock's counting down. Oh yeah, what's it called? The Jag effect? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Like you build with a Eureka, teleport back, switch to like the Jag or something. Or the Gunslinger. That is fun. A fun way of playing for sure. But my brain usually is too small for that. To remember that's a thing, I suppose. Okay. I mean, this drop buildings in key places is like, what the heck is a key place? But either way. A well-placed sentry uses surprise and or narrow sightlines to its advantage. Height advantages are huge with sentries. Requiring tanks to pop around corners to get a shot at your sentry means a better chance of its survival. This is where understanding the game's meta and map layouts are huge. Like Scout, the engineer needs to understand flanking routes and unused portions of the map for his benefit. Think of the backyard in Badwater near the second cap point. The backyard's rear area to set up a nest and get players forward faster. For any other class, this area is Deadsville. He's talking about the roof? Backyard? Near the second cap point? Oh, does he mean like the small little cubby hole? In like before? Like not the roof, but like, okay. Yeah, that is usually where I place some sentries. Set up the binds? I'm not getting any binds, sorry. Was Gunslinger out 10 years ago? In 2015? Absolutely. Like, don't forget, the game hasn't gotten... Like, the last big update, Jungle Inferno, was like 7 years ago? Right? So... yeah, this is fine. And also, it's funny. I don't know. This is like classic general advice. And don't worry, we got another one right here. That is from 9 months ago, so we're starting, just one at a time. How do we tell them? Is it even older than 7? Even older than 7 years? There's no way. Is it? I forget how old Jungle Inferno is. Either way. So essentially, what this is saying is place it in a place that is like... I don't know how to take a note from this one. 8 years, damn. Well, there you go. Be prepared to move at a moment's notice. Rescue Ranger is great for this, but even without it, lose the mindset of this is my nest, I'm holding this at all costs. Everyone is spy until proven innocent. Better to lose a building than to use your own life. Thou shalt help fellow engineers. Fair enough. Basically what he's saying is place it properly and don't care too much about whether it dives or not. Which I think I'm already pretty good at those two. Or I understand those two pretty well. It's okay. No? Alright. And obviously I'd be out there always helping my friendly engineers. Always. Obviously. Excuse me. If you've got multiple engineers setting up, don't bleepin' build right next to them. Build close, sure, so you can support each other, but set up your nest so that it's got a crossfire with the other one and can cover avenues that the other one will have trouble or be slower at targeting. Setting them on different levels, if possible, helps as well, but for the love don't just set yours right the bleep next to the other dude. So true. I mean, okay, well, I knew that one, but... Fair enough. Hey, what's up, Auntie? I'm a Reddit streamer now? No, this is day 2, Auntie. We're learning, we're adapting, we're overcoming, and most importantly, we're TF2 NG. Hi, Mini Monkey. As Angie, you should be playing as a drinking mom? What? I can play as a drinking edgy if I use the cheer stunt. And if that don't work, build more guns, just not directly next to the other people. Some advice someone hasn't touched a computer since gunmetal. Be unpredictable. Know when to abandon your buildings, stay away from the sentry in case of collateral damage, and grab metal when it's safe. Prioritize teleporter over dispenser, so your team can act as meat shields. Sad but true. To buy your time to collect metal or move your buildings. Practice aim with the shotgun, useful for rescue ranger heals and taking out spies. Prioritize killing spies before removing sappers. 1 to 2 shots to kill them fast. Hold on. It is sorted by best. I just thought it had 2 upwells and I was like, this guy worth is his opinion worth it? He deleted his account and everything. What does this guy think he is? Anyway. Sorry, am I rude? Is that rude? Prioritize killing spies before removing sappers. 1 to 2 shots kill them fast. 3 to 4 is okay, but some buildings might be destroyed. Prioritize teleporter, and then sentry, and then dispenser to save. Move your sentry to new fancy spots for that surprise after around 10 kills. Does not apply when enemy teams are a bunch of bozos. What? Be irresponsible, get a lot of kids out, and care for them little. Oh, jeez. I see. To defend against peeking soldiers, go aggressive. They don't expect it. Just pop him with some shells and run. If he's damaged, kill him. Flank the soldier and shotgun him. Retreat if necessary. Same for Demo Man. Okay. You know what? I think I'll add this to the notes. People have already told me this in the chat before, but prioritize killing the spy before removing the sappers. I sometimes forget about that, so, you know, let's just write it down. Make sure it's something we remember. Advanced tactics. Ooh. Using a Wrangler, you can reduce damage by 2/3. That's a lot of tank. Using the Wrangler as a shield at the right times can counter even an Ubered heavy. Pretty gunmetal. With constant repairs. This takes a lot of skills to pull off. I recommend doing that with friends for practice. There you go. And now you're a better engineer. Everything requires practice, and NG is the hardest to do so. As the required situation either never comes often enough, or just comes too hard. Practice more, and you shall be good at NG despite the steep learning curve. Good luck! Nice. NG is a position war. Position war is like the World War I? What? This was supposed a few years ago he would be called out for regurgitating Uncle Dan. Oh, that's who he is! That's why he deleted. He didn't want people to know. He didn't want people to know. Uncle Dan. We're gonna see Uncle Dan in just a second, Dad, okay? Don't worry. The source is I made it up. Anyway. I'm no pro, but ensuring that you never keep your sentry in one place for too long changed the way I play. So you get 7 kills on that balcony on Borneo. Pack it up quick as you can and move to, say, the rocks. Opposite, because at least one of those slain enemies has changed demo is coming for you. As Uncle Dane, the NG main, has taught me, you gotta keep them on your toes. Hope this helped a little bit. Well, speaking of Uncle Dane. So, essentially, what this guy is saying is, after 7 to 10 kills, maybe consider moving level 3. I can add that. It's the second time we've read that. After 7 to 10 kills with your level 3, maybe consider moving it to another location. A pretty good note. Have a better team than them. Thanks, Ibutu. That is usually how I win with Engineer. So it's not a bad advice. I do usually win with Engineer when this happens. So true. Alright, let's read a few more of these. Don't be predictable. After getting 2 or so kills in an obscure, aggressive location, move up or move out. Put your sentries in unexpected places. They typically aren't as organized. Okay. Duke it out with others with your shotgun. Don't expect super aggressive engineers. Sentries are disposable, especially with Jag and Gunslinger. What you'll find is, if you shoot someone with your shotgun, they might target you instead of the sentry, letting the sentry kill them before you're harmed. Shoot the sentry, let it die as you shotgun them from the side. If you're fast enough, you can repair the sentry after the attackers are dead. Interesting. Watch the animation in slow motion, yet it still shoots? Damn, there you go. Now we know. Level 3s are superior. But they are superior not as much as level 1 to level 2. They're just a bit better. Anyway, I think... Okay, move your gun, move your gun, move your gun. So basically, a lot of the things that this guy, this Reddit thread is telling us is... move your sentries around. That's like the main thing that they're saying. So, you know what? Pretty good. It's not a single tip of advice on this thread that Dane has not said that as well. Well, fair enough. I suppose we'll be hearing those tips again when we watch this later. But before we do that, before we watch those, there's one more guy chat. I mean, one more Reddit post that I want to read. Because this is probably my, like one of the hardest things is like, I don't understand how to play maps as engineer. Like, even though I've played on them before, I don't understand them. And this, it's a good one. It got me interested. How to effectively play engineer on maps that I've never played before. First time I played on Uncletopia was on PL Eruption. And I had absolutely zero idea how it went down. Tried playing Mini, but it wasn't very effective. Okay, how do we do it then? Also, you know what? Let me get a different song. How about like freaking PictoChat or something? PictoChat Extended. Wait, it's not the one I'm thinking of. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Whatever. Let's go with this one. Hi, Mac. Play through the map normally and learn the map as you would any other. Take note of choke points, large ammo packs, and payload checkpoints. Just drop buildings without worrying about optimal meta placements. If one spot doesn't work, try another. Does it help me? That's already what I do. I don't think... Can we even get a note from this? I mean, it's true. I don't know if there's a note we can put here from that. Take note of where your team likes to retreat to. Put a dispenser then and a sentry gun to cover them. The sentry protects your team and your team protects the sentry. So you'll usually have a fairly strong setup even if you don't already know the best spots with the sentry. Trial and error. Are we learning from the internet instead of playing the game? Who's gonna tell Mac? I guess I will tell Mac. Mac, exclamation NG week, okay? This is day 2, okay? Day 1, play a bunch of Engineer to see our current power level. So, on Monday, I played nothing but Engineer, and I see what happened, I just found out. But okay, I have to... It's NG with an E. But I'll also add it without the E. A lot of people do it without the E. So we already did that, Mac. I did the learn by playing, and here's what happened. I didn't learn a lot. So I'm trying to learn now by reading. That's an old school advice, putting your buildings near the health kits and ammo. It always feels it's like a bit redundant to do that, but I guess it makes sense. Okay, so let's put this then. I think this is a good advice. Try to take note of where your team likes to retreat to, and set up your nest there. Oops. Okay. Whatever. I understand the cookies. Seems good enough to me. It says to play. You ain't playing now. It says right here, watch a bunch of Engineer TF2 guides and take notes. Day 2. It's day 2, Mac. It's not day 1. It's day 2. Did I setup? I did, in fact, type setup. Good point. Hey, ESL. Only dispenser should be put in your packs. How can your dispenser get value if your team does not know where it is? True. A lot of times, I don't know where my own dispenser is, which is bad. All right. There's a certain skill to finding good sentry spots, as opposed to just memorizing them based on what you see other Engineer players doing. If you want to develop that skill, try playing on TF2 Maps.net playtest server. It's fun and opens a... We might do that, chat. After we are done with these guides, we might just go on a bunch of maps and just put sentries on and be like, is this a good sentry? Is this a bad sentry? Placement. We might do that. Me. You did not mean press enter. That is you. The whole put it where they retreat is a bit redundant, but does help for things like your team knows and those resources are close by areas. Okay. Wait, me demo main and demo kaboom, 2 sentry nests. True. That's what he do. Anyway, make sure the sentry prevents blue from capping. If there's a teammate with a sentry already doing this, you can sometimes place the sentry so that it just protects a strong route to the objective. But be careful, blue doesn't just bypass it with another route. Okay. So just put a sentry where you know they can't cap because the sentry is there. Interesting. A little obvious, but interesting. Avoid spots where your sentry can be easily outranged even if you don't use the Wrangler. That's true. Limit the way blue can assault your nest up close. Think about what you would do if this or that class came through this doorway. What options would you have to protect yourself and your nest? But be careful. Blue's got a handful. It's an English language thing again. Careful, handful, handful. Careful, handful, handful. Careful, ooh. Yeah, it's a little different. But still, I see what you did there, Andre. You grew until the maxed, still. I need to drink. Dude, all this reading is destroying my throat. I understand this. Limit the ways that the blue can assault your nest up close. Think about what you would do if this or... Oh, I get it. Like, you have to imagine, if a soldier showed up, what do I do? If a demo shows up, what do I do? That's a lot of thinking. I don't know if I don't know if that if I can play like that. Try to build your nest in a spot you can retreat from when you get overrun. Okay, we already typed that one. Putting your nest in a place where you can retreat to. For dispensers, use your own judgment. Okay, this is not what I want to read, okay? This is not what I want to read. Not what I want to read. What is my judgment? My judgment is stupid. You're supposed to tell me my judgment. Zongriware. If you're building next to large metal and health packs, you should probably place your own dispenser where it will help teammates. Otherwise, you might need to keep it nearby for your own use. For teleporters, just put the exit in a spot that isn't going to be found. Except by spies or super deep flankers. just don't... Yeah, just make your teleport not be found, dude. I don't know about that one. I think I know the best way to play NG. Descartes said that the things we perceive with our senses are only appearance. Therefore, the best way to play NG is by gaslighting yourself to believe the non-existence of engineer. See, that's what I've done for like my 15 years of playing TF2. Is I've pretended that engineer doesn't exist when I'm playing him, and I don't think it helped me a lot. He doesn't exist in my brain, but yet he does now, and it's like he just doesn't stop existing. I can't make him not exist. Can he not exist? See demo, shoot gun. See soldier, shoot gun. Not seen enemy, just build more stuff. You know, yeah, just build stuff. Look up gameplay videos and take note of common engineer setups. All right, I don't know. I think we've exhausted this this thread for useful information. Play them and you'll learn naturally. Play something else, Lamau. Find a corner, hide yourself and put a dispenser there. Place turret just outside a corner with a ghoul kill zone. Stand on top of a dispenser and... Okay. Alright, so we got this from Reddit, chat. We got all these notes from Reddit. Not bad. You know, lure your enemies into your nest. Don't focus on getting level 3, maybe level 2 is enough. Maybe focus a lot on getting teleporters built, level 2. Place your nest in a place where your team can help to defend it. Prioritize killing the spy before rooming the snappers. And maybe move it to no location gets a lot of kills. And take note of where your team likes to retreat to. Set up your nest there. Not bad. Not bad. Alright, but chat. Can I tell you the real notes where they are at? Of course, you better know. I'm talking about engineer Steam guides. Steam guides. Oh man, this is a lot of text. Okay, I did not know this would be this. Oh, it keeps going. Oh, it keeps going. Oh my goodness, it just keeps. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, I'm probably not gonna read this. I'll just TLDR it. I'm a fast reader. Okay, chat, don't worry. I'm a fast reader. Sims 4 has a multiplayer mod? What? How does Sims even work as a multiplayer game? Sounds interesting, I suppose. Paste it into ChatGPT for a summary. No. Chat, I'll just show you my fast... Listen, I read for a living, okay? You, as in I read you for a living. So, this is easy. I'll just read and TLDR it just like that, okay? So, let's go. Paragraph 1. Make it a bit bigger. Okay. Okay. He's explained that like, oh, you shouldn't just use gunslinger for like attack. You can use other stuff, maybe. Ask ChatGPT how to play engineer. I don't want the AI overlords to take over, okay? Listen, I know they would teach me properly how to play engineer, but I don't know. Man versus machine, okay? I'm the man. They're the machine. We kill them. That's what I think. ChatGPT, how about he becomes the tank in freaking Man vs. Machine and I'll kill it. ChatGPT would not, they won't teach you how to play engineer. I know. It's the meme. I get it. Okay, well, this is a lot of stuff. All right. Okay, let me just read. Listen, I'll just blaze through this first section, okay? Also, I just realized it's just wrench or groundslinger. Social engineering. Wait, he explains stuff. Okay, location. This is okay. Ooh, wait. Effective objectively. So basically saying don't just put the stuff where everyone puts it because people are used to destroying the sentries when they're in that place. But the problem is, I don't know the other good places if I barely even know the common places. So I don't know if that helps me a lot, but... Engineers about delays. Stalling for time. Good engineer will stall with the sentry until the enemy team has Uber to take in a conventional spot and take it out. Good engineer will use a spot of his own creation and make the enemy team trial an error for multiple Ubers until they figure out the method of approach. Anyway. Okay, never mind. It actually genuinely knows how to play NG. AI has adapted. Okay, if one of you can like show me a paste bin of like what ChatGPT told you how to play NG, I'll look at that. Okay, how about that? Or just a paragraph or two. I told you the AI is crazy, dude. I'm telling you. Man versus machine. I'm gonna be on the side of man on this one, okay? Of human. This is scaring me. It is literally how to play NG. As in... Well, now I'm scared about this ChatGPT stuff, man. What are you... Anyway, when looking at a spot, there's numerous things to consider. Personally, when evaluating a spot, I have several things to look at. Just as... Okay, this might be useful. I think this might be useful. Oh, you mean... Okay, ChatGPT says... Press the character select button, default key or whatever, and hover over the engineer class. Oh, okay. Okay, well, should I take notes of that then? What was it? Press the... comma key? And... No. Okay. ChatGPT. Listen, let's listen to traffic. Which way will the enemy team most often come from? What other locations can they approach from? How close could they be before they had to pop an Uber? The further away they have to be before they pop, the more travel time it takes to get to the gun, the less time they will have left on the... This is some PoE stuff, dude. That's too much complex. I don't... Dude, what? The further away they're... What the poppin'? Is my spot cornerable on a blind? Is my spot cornerable on a blind? If a Devilman was around the corner from me, could he just stand still and lob down stickies to destroy my sentry? Yes, when I build them, yes, there's always a place where Devilmans can do that. Almost always. Texas Rescue Ranger. Alright, chat, I think this guide is actually too good for me. That might be the worst advice I've heard. Wait, really? You think that's bad advice? I mean, just, you know, just saying, if possible, try not to put it in a place where Devilmans can destroy sickies from. Which makes sense, but, like, also, you might have to take the L and realize that some spots will just have the... You can't. I thought you only needed Dane's ultimate guide to battle engineer vid. Oh, don't worry, Unger. We're getting to Uncle Dane in just a second, okay? I'm just scouring the internet, okay? We went on Reddit. We got all these notes from Reddit. Now we're on Steam Guides, and we're realizing that this is too much for me. I place my sentry away far from the Uber, yes, it won't be destroyed. But if I place it that far away, it won't help my team. Ah, I see what you mean. Chad, Firefox user? Actually, this is WaterFox, which, as you can see there. But yes, I do use Firefox on my actual browser. It's good advice, just word it awkwardly. Okay, how do I use that advice to put it here in a way that benefits us, chat? Can you help me? And don't ChatGPT this, okay? I'll know if you've ChatGPT'd it. How do we transform what this guy said into a good note for us? So place it where it helps the team, but also the Uber, if it'll stop the Uber. It's a confusing one, dude. Need a dispenser here. Must have. Where should the dispenser go? In defensive situations, such as payload, attack, defend, an engineer should have full priority of his dispenser. Built with his nest next to him. He needs all the help he can get, metal and healing included. Okay. You press the comma key and hover over a class called Heavy Weapons Guy. I wish I could do that. I should put my sentry in the back line. Imagine the enemy's perspective. Try to make it awkward for them to attack, but convenient for your sentry to attack. I like that. You know what? That's good. I think that's good. Try to place your nest. Wait. Hold on. Try to place your nest where it's awkward. Do I want advice from someone who's good at fighting games? Sure, because I'm good at fighting games. I like fighting games. I can understand fighting game analogies. Try to place your nest where it's awkward for enemy teams. For fighting in general. I mean IRL? Okay, I'm not really good at IRL fight. Oh, the advice is keep it simple, stupid. Oh, I know Kiss strat. And Cal, listen. I think if there's one thing you should know about me, is that I always do that, okay? In fact, I'm usually backwards on that. I'm usually keep it stupid. Simple. That's how I do it usually. Anyway. Try to place your nest where it's awkward for enemy teams to attack it. But convenient for your team. Instead of just sentry, like for your team to attack. Right? That's essentially what that guy is saying, right? To take notes at all. I know, also chat. Listen, I don't want to ruin the magic of what we're doing right now, but I'm also just kind of doing this for fun, okay? I know, obviously, if I was just playing the game, it would be fun. But I also just thought that it would be a good time if we just went through like guides and saw what people said online. Because, I mean, I didn't even... we've been seeing some interesting stuff. Let me tell you what. Instead of where do I nest, it becomes did I nest? Am I engineering right now? Oh, hey, ABS. New Wheel of Punishments? Oh, you want me to bring back the wheel? One of these days I'll bring back the wheel. Anyway, dude, I'm not... Listen. Shoutouts to Game Master with his Engineer's Guide to Engineering. He made it quite expansive. But I gotta say, that's a bit expansive for me. How about, do you have a TLDR at the end? He does not. So, yeah. So there was one more Steam guide, though. Thought I was done with the Steam guides. Toasty Engineer. He got one for us. He's got one for us. And this one seems much simpler and much more to the point. All right? So, let's see if Toasty Engineer can help us out, all right? What is an engineer? An engineer is a... You know what? Also, let me change the music. What's a fun, like, thinking music? How about Sims by music? Extended. Wait. Yeah, maybe when we get to Uncle Dane, I'll already, like, have understood everything. Okay. The engineer is a class for Team Fortress 2. He's a Texas. He's a Texas? He's a Texan. His real name is Del Conacher. Can build sentry guns, which can be upgraded to level 1 to 3. He can build dispenser also, which can dispense metal, ammo, and health to your teammates, as well as yourself. They can also be upgraded to level 1 to 3. Teleporters do, you know what? Teleport yourself and teammates. These can be upgraded to levels 1 to 3 to recharge faster. This is a pretty good guide so far, dude. I don't know. Good freaking guide. Remember teaching a guy a BNB combo? And then teaching him how to level up his corner pressure with Mika? What is this some Uniel stuff? I had to watch this guy throw his opponent to death. Oh, there's an ad. Sorry, chat. It's better to have a sentry than to debate if putting the sentry two hammer units to left is better. True. That is true. Also, sorry, I bumped the mic. Okay, this guide might be too simple. This guy is just telling us, like, data. Level 2 sentry guns can kill a 175 HP pyro in 1 second. Okay. 20%. Okay. 50 metals. Teleports can be built with 50 metal. However, with the Eureka effect equipped, it can be built with 25 metal. It can be upgraded with 100 metal per level. That rhymed. What? Alright, it's okay. He'll get more specific, right? Offensive. Oh my gosh, he's linking. Alright, well, I think he's linking it to the Uncle Dane. He's telling us to just go ahead and watch Uncle Dane already, dude. That's funny. Well, it might be time. Enemies? Friends? Fun fact. Alright, well, this guide is not exactly what I was hoping for when I clicked on it. He just explains very basic stuff. I did see what you said about Sims 4, and I said it sounds interesting, but I also can't imagine how it works. Like, what? Like multiplayer? How does that work? Like they just make a house in the same neighborhood as you? Sounds interesting. Anyway. We just gotta follow. Each one controls a sim up to 8 players. That sounds very interesting. We might have to check that out for sure. In fact, I'm playing this sim song right now because of what you said. That, freaking... the Sims thing. But, I think that might be it, chat. Thank you, Kwang Kui. I said your name wrong for sure, but thank you for the follow. Is it time to finally watch Uncle Dan and just watch some videos? Become a reaction streamer? Like people have begged me to do for so many years now? Might be time. We're gonna still take notes, okay? Is there any note we can even take from this freaking guide? General playstyle, Wrangler. This guy just gives us, like, data. The worst weapon in the game, now it's given love. R clicking. I think we just gotta go. You know what? Yo, shoutouts to Toasty Engineer. Thank you for your guide. But, it's not necessarily what I was looking for, but thank you still. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm so sorry about the ads, dude. Sure, no, but hey, fortunately, the people that were in an ad while we were reading this guide doesn't really have anything that helps us, okay? Doesn't have anything that helps us. Good guy and all that, but not for us. We still got a bunch of fun notes from Reddit and Steam, so yeah. We still did. I still am glad that we did that. But it's time, chat. Now here's my question to all of the engineer mains in the chat. What should be the first Uncle Dane video that we watch? The first. We're going to watch like a bunch. Not the one, if it's 1 hour or longer, we're not watching it, okay? You're crazy. You're crazy. We'll watch like, what makes the most sense to me would be like this one, right? Engineering 101 from like 9 years ago? Frag compilation? We might not learn a lot from that one. Motivation? Okay, maybe we'll end it on a frag video and see like, oh, this is what we can be in the future. Engineering 101. All right, you know what? The random crit video, that one is good, but doesn't teach us a lot. All right, well, let's go. It's time chat. Again, this is Uncle Dan. This is not my content. I'm watching someone else do their content. Uncle Dan. Oh man, his 30 FPS content. You can tell this is old.
Come on, fellas.
Engineering 101. Yep.
Hey everyone, Uncle Dane here with the first...
Oh, he sounds so freaking young, dude. It's weird. Weird. Okay, also very quiet. He's a pretty good YouTuber, by the way, Chad. If somehow someone doesn't know him, he's pretty cool. Probably one of my favorite TF2 YouTubers, even though I don't care about the engineer at all. Hello, by the way, hi, Mr. Knight, and hi, everyone else. How to beat every class engineer and win. That is a pretty good one. It's a bit long, though. Anyway.
Installment of Engineering 101, a series of videos where I will go over a specific aspect of the engineer, including my own personal tips for improving the way you play as the hillbilly construction worker.
Okay.
Keep in mind that this series of short, simple, and to-the-point videos are aimed at those of you who have already played a little bit of Engineer, but are more or less still new, and therefore unfamiliar with most of the basic things that you can do to assist your team both defensively and offensively. In today's episode, I want to go over what seems to be the most obsessed about aspect of Engineer, mainly because it gives players the most satisfying feedback when done right, sentry placement.
Yes.
A new engineer's first question is almost always, what are the good sentry spots? Well,
yes,
today
please.
We're going to answer that question with another question. What makes a sentry spot good?
Yes, that's good. That's exactly what I want to know, Mr. Dane.
Situationally speaking, there are so many factors that can go into what makes a sentry spot give you effective results.
Okay.
But for this video, I will go over a few of the basics of what I'd like to consider an area good for placing a sentry gun. I've organized my own simple sentry spot checklist that you can use to make sure that you're getting the most out of your gun, as well as avoiding placement that leaves you open to getting your nest easily destroyed.
Okay.
Number 1. Does your sentry actively hinder the enemy team from completing the objective? This is mostly applicable to level 3s on defense. Always make sure your sentry has general sightlines to the point, to the payload cart, whatever objective the enemy team is trying to complete. It is...
Wait. Should I take a note of that? Does your sentry actively hinder the enemy team from completing the objective? Maybe. Oh, hi, Lily. Nice Hail Zone Kong. Damn. He's one of your favorite YouTubers in general. No, dude, he has really good, Take it down? Okay, was it too loud? Too loud? Okay.
Essential that your sentry is constantly a giant roadblock that is always preventing them from easily moving forward.
Okay, so essentially what he's saying... Oh, put down the advice. I agree. Okay, so essentially what he's saying is put the sentry in a place... What did he say exactly? No! Wrong video.
Dispenser going up.
No!
Is constantly a giant roadblock that is always preventing them from easily moving forward.
Okay. Put the sentry in a place where it's always preventing the enemy team from moving forward. Right? That's pretty good advice, I think. That's some pretty good advice. So you know what? Boom. Yeah, Shonik has some has some really good content as well for TF2. I agree. And LED, I've watched him a bit as well. Dude, there's a bunch of... Listen, you're going to make me say it. All the non-memer TF2 YouTubers, I'm a big fan of. The meme YouTubers, I'm not saying they're bad, just... I guess their content's just not for me, because I'm a boomer. But, yeah, LED, Uncle Day, and Shonik, yeah, they got some good content. Anyway... I'm even going to put a separation between this advice and the Uncle Dane advice. I think I trust him better than the others, but let's keep watching.
On defense, placing your gun in an aggressive spot can be an effective way to rack up some cheap kills, but if it's not watching the point, it is all too easy for a spy or a scout to get behind you and backcap when the point is clear. The entire point of a sentry gun is area denial, and if you are denying the wrong area, you are not
this
using
TF2
your
looks
gun
so bad
to its
too.
full potential.
He's picking on
Number
very
2,
low.
does your sentry have sightlines to common entrances and choke points, aka create a large bubble? So when you're placing your sentry, you may notice that a large team-colored 3-dimensional bubble appears, showing you exactly where your sentry gun's auto-aim system stops targeting enemy players.
I actually never
Keep a
noticed
close
this
eye
goes
exactly
through
where your
walls.
sentry gun's
You see that?
auto-aim system stops
I never noticed that. Matt Pigment 2 looking ass.
targeting enemy players. Keep a close eye on this bubble when you're choosing your spot. You
I
wanna make
never
sure that
realized. Yeah, you can't. I've actually never realized that. That's crazy. See, that's how you can tell that I don't play this class. I never noticed it. Like, I knew that the red is where the sentry can shoot at. I knew that, but I did not know it was so easy to tell. Like, it can shoot here, can't shoot over there. I've never known there was like. You know what? Let's take it. Let's actually put that down. Pay attention to your sentry's sightline range, but for real this time. Because I used to say that I would pay attention to it. I actually wasn't paying attention to it. I lied to you. If I said I was, I wasn't. So there you go. It's good advice.
there is a lot of ground your enemy can't step into. Keeping your sentry gun
true,
cocked
Alice.
back in a corner renders half of the potential covered area useless. Try and place it in a way where the edge of the bubble extends over as many common entrances and choke points as you can. Using the right mouse button to rotate the front of the gun towards the most common area of traffic also helps a lot with consistent damage output. Number
whoa,
3.
his sentry
Can
bugged out.
enemies do damage to your sentry without it targeting them? If the answer to this question is yes, this may not be the ideal sentry spot. Sometimes this is unavoidable, but in cases like these, the Wrangler can always help in denying enemies the freedom to peek at your gun from afar, as well as tanking the extra damage it will be receiving. Forcing your enemy to risk taking
Freddy's
a lot
gone.
of damage in order to get sightlines on your nest is very troublesome for the enemy team and can almost make your area close to impenetrable. Well, those are the basics of
That's
the
it?
sentry
Okay.
placement. I hope this video can help
Can I
you
take a note
decide
on that
where
last
to put
one?
your next sentry gun. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more future episodes of Engineering 101.
Add to the notes that the sentry should be behind your front line so it will not get focused at the start of the fight. But what if I told it I don't know what the front line is? Like, I understand it's like the part where they like, it's your notepad, I don't have your keyboard. Yeah, but I'm a streamer, so I listen to my chat always, and they tell me to do something. I always do it. Right, chat? You know this. It's always true. When have I ever said no to anything my chat said? Name it one time. Frontline is the objective where the majority of players are engaging in close quarters combat. Yeah, but that keeps changing. Like it literally always keeps changing. It's like it's here in 1 second, then it changes the other second. That's what I'm saying is hard. Anyway, that was pretty good. I think we got 2 pretty good notes from that already. So let's go for the video 2. I don't think I'll play this one though. This one implies that I would have friends. No. To know what the front line is, you need game sense and an FPS and just game sense. I have game sense, but not frontline sense. I don't know, man. I have like WM1 fire at the enemies sense and air blast them. For frontline, you want to play RTSs? You mean create a million Zerg rushes and send it over and over and over again? You mean the way I play it? The way that I played RTSs? I can do that. Why do you think I play Pyro? He's essentially the Zerg rush of TF2. Anyway. Engineer's the freaking like Terran that is like building like a million bases and just building up his power over and over and be like small soldiers. Then by the end he has like a million things. I'm like, man, I don't know how you do that. Anyway. Okay, let's watch the second video.
Today we're going to be doing some role-playing. Not only are we going to be playing as the character in TF2 who is an engineer, we're going to try and
These videos are so low quality. Oh, it's because it's on 360p? What?
think like an engineer. And when it comes to the profession that is engineering, math is the language it's presented in. Math! Luckily, playing engineer in TF2 is not nearly as difficult as actual engineering. So, of course,
True.
the math involved is...
I will say that's true. I've done engineering in TF2, and I've done engineering in real life. And I will say, even though engineering in TF2 is very hard, engineering in real life, at least learning it, even harder. So there's that.
Basic, but nonetheless, it is still very important. The mindset we're going to be discussing in today's episode uses math for something that is never really talked about, but is something that can separate a good engineer from a great one. That mindset I'm talking about is metal conservation and spending.
Mechanical engineering is pretty chill. I guess I haven't done mechanical engineering. I wouldn't
First
know.
off, let's go over all of the different ways to get metal in TF2. Scavenging for metal is something you'll always have to keep in the back of your mind while you're managing your building, so it's good to know where you get your metal from on the battlefield and how much metal each source provides.
Okay.
Let's start with the basic map-generated metal sources, ammo packs. There are 3 different types of ammo
I know
packs
this
that can be
already,
scattered
but fair enough.
strategically around a map, small, medium, and full. Respectively, these packs will grant you
They're
40,
suits?
100, and maximum metal, which is 200. The other
Changes next second in combat. Macro sense is the area people fight in. Backline is the next area where your team would be pushed to. Man, you engineer players are like billion IQ.
common
I get
place
it,
to
but like
find
in
metal
theory,
is
but in
from
actual...
Ammo packs.
most
Ammo.
you find on the ground either from dead enemies or allies.
Oh my gosh, was this video so close to the change of like the soldiers? The weapons becoming ammo packs that he had to like do an edit. That's how old this video is. Damn. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, back in the day, it would be the weapon that would give you the medal. But now it's just the ammo pack that like drops when someone dies. Big, awesome change, okay? Because back in the day, you would like see a rocket launcher and you would pick it up. You're like, okay, nice, big rocket launcher. But then like the spy's knife, which is the tiniest little thing of all time, would also give you the equivalent of 100 metal, but you would be this tiny little freaking speck. Tiny speck on the freaking battlefield. Then you have to go and grab it. And obviously it wouldn't be as the same hitbox or whatever for picking it up like it would be the rocket launcher. It would be this tiny thing. It was very annoying. So now the fact that it's like universalized into this one thing, good change that they did for TF2. I didn't call you guys engineer mains. I called you engineer players. As in, you play engineer and you understand the engineer class. That's what I meant. Sorry, I didn't mean to insult you by calling you engineer mains. That's not what I did. So don't be offended. You main beggars, soldiers. See, now that is based. That right there. I should have done beggars, soldier week. Anyway, whatever. Good video. Let's keep watching. He hasn't said anything yet.
On the ground either from dead enemies or allies, grant you the same amount as a medium ammo pack or 100.
Even if the video is that old, engineer didn't get any notable changes. He might have gotten a few nerfs, but not really. You gotta understand, Cal. TF2 hasn't gotten any big updates since Jungle Inferno, which was mostly a pyro update that got him a lot of notable changes. But every other class has just kind of been like... I mean, TF2 in general is a pretty, like... even if people will maybe disagree with me, but I disagree with them. A pretty, like, solved, well-balanced game for the most part. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that I still dislike, would like a little bit of tuning, but for the most part, it's like a very proper... like Engineer's a pretty solid class as is, so they didn't really need to change it more after they, like, added a bunch of stuff. So, yeah, this video can still help us, for sure. This video can still help us. So, yeah. All of that, what did change is the player base. Well, the player base changed in terms of, like... I think what they mean, Cal, is the player base got better. Like, back in the day, you would play TF2, and, like, part of the game was, like, playing against people that weren't that good. But now you're playing against people like me that have played it for, like, 5,000 hours, and they know all the tricks. So it feels more solved, also in that sense. Yes, Andre, but also some weapons that used to be freaking stupid and awful got removed. So that also balances the game. But yes, you are also correct. Like, dude, there used to be a way Sniper could survive headshots with one of his weapons. Pyro, if he had a specific hat, because yes, there was a hat that would change gameplay, it freaking, like, would make him run faster. Just by having that hat and, like, 2 other weapons. You can share it in the self advertising channel in the Discord if you want, Mr. Knight. What did the Pomson do? I think the Pomson was just whatchamacallit. Oh my gosh. The Pomson, I forget. It always was bad though. But it used to be more annoying, I think. I think it just took more of your Uber. Oh, and it penetrated people, so it would like do a lot of damage to many different people. Just annoying. 7 class has been well balanced even before Jungle Inferno problematizes some specific weapons. Yeah, I know. I know the vaccinator exists. You don't gotta tell me. Either way, I still think for the most part the game is like fine. And honestly, I think if they were to balance the game again of TF2, they would add like 20 other problems that are new. Which is why I don't even want them to like freaking... You know what? Just keep it this way. It's not perfect, but I'll take it over like the game being ruined again. Which I wouldn't put it past them. Anyway, watch video.
The only exception to this rule is when you pick up the ammo of an engineer. These grant you the same amount of metal that the engineer had on him when he died. The last and most reliable source of metal is from dispensers and payload cards. A level 1 dispenser grants 40 metal per second, a level 2 grants 50 metal per second, and a level 3 will give you 60 metal per second.
It's pretty
good. A payload cart will grant you ammo at the same rate a level 1 dispenser would. However, you must be standing behind or on top of the cart in order to receive it.
Wait, really?
You know where to get metal.
Wait.
Standing behind or on top of the cart in order to receive it.
Really? Okay, I never knew that. I'm gonna add that. I actually did not know that's how it works. Did they fix this? Okay, this is something that could have been fixed, for example. Does any engineer player know if this got fixed?
Same rate a level 1 dispenser would. However,
you get your metal?
You must be standing behind or on top of the cart.
They never fixed this. See, this is what TF2 has still. It's like just a lot of little weird things that they just don't fix. Whatever. Don't stand in front of the payload. It won't give you metal. There you go.
Receive it. So now that you know where to get metal from and how much metal each source can provide you, let's talk about the best way to use each of these sources to their full potential.
I know you can freaking short circuit on the payload. That is so stupid.
The goal of every engineer.
If I could choose one thing and one thing only to be removed right now from TF2 or to be fixed, probably would be that. The short circuit spam on payloads. Like, just give a cooldown of like 5 seconds between each bubble or something. I don't know. Of 3 seconds. Just anything. This is any cooldown to the short circuit so you can't spam it if he has infinite ammo like he does when he's on the payload. But I digress.
When it comes to his buildings, should be clear. Get the buildings to level 3 and fully repaired in the shortest amount of time possible. There are very few instances where upgrading your buildings to the maximum level is not more beneficial than keeping them unupgraded.
It's a whole other topic.
The methods you can use to speed up the process revolve around spending your metal in the right places and making sure that you're not wasting your metal. So how can you avoid wasting metal? Well, the best way to avoid it is to try your best to live by this rule. While you still have buildings to upgrade, never pick up an ammo pack that is greater than the amount of metal you currently have. This means that, for instance, if you have greater than 100 metal
I get it.
Don't
I think I already do
ammo
that.
Pack until you have less than 100 metal on you. This maximizes the potential metal you spend from resources and eliminates waste. Here's a pretty common situation, for example.
Okay.
Say you have a level 1 sentry and you have 70 metal on you. Before picking up an ammo pack, be aware, is the amount of metal you will be receiving less than the amount of metal you already have on you? If this is true, you won't be wasting any potential metal by picking up the pack. In this case, a medium or small ammo pack will do, but with a full pack, you'd be better off getting your metal reserve closer to 0 before picking it up.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do that already.
I do that already. Packs or scavenging for ammo on the battlefield can speed up the upgrading process greatly. This also comes into play when playing with other friendly engineers. The metal you waste while picking up an ammo pack is metal your fellow engies could have used for their own buildings. Another helpful thing, timing your ammo pickups with building placements during setup time. It can be an important habit to learn. To demonstrate a good order in which to place buildings in conjunction with available ammo packs, let's use the first stage of Dust Bowl's first point.
Oh, Dust Bowl. Great, I love this map.
Placing a teleporter entrance is essential. Never underestimate the power of a teleporter. You should always be doing this at the start of a round. After placing it, you can return to the supply cabinet.
This is a change that they did also to Engineer, by the way. The teleporters only cost like 50 metal now.
After placing,
so that's what they used to cost you 125. Now they're 50. So this is probably already way outdated because of this. So if I had to remove one thing in TF2, Pyro Long Beats have been dust. Damn, it's ruthless. Well, I suppose the only thing I can say is I'm glad you weren't in charge. I love my Pyro. Don't touch Pyro.
You can return to the supply cabinet to get your metal back up to full and walk towards the build site. For this first point, I like to start by placing the sentry first, since it self-constructs on its own the fastest of the 3 buildings, and after that, I immediately pick up the small...
Replace the hit... Oh! Did you not know? They actually did that. I think it was the 64-bit update, they actually finally made the Air Blast's hitbox into a cone. It finally did it. They finally did it. Like, they fixed the thing that was been broken since, like, Blue Moon update, I believe, where it was just a big-ass, like, square or whatever, and now it's an actual cone. It actually has the hitbox that it looks like it has. It's the actual, like, wind hitbox that you see. They actually finally did it. They actually freaking fixed it a few months ago. And it, like, kind of went under the radar that they fixed it. But if you play Pyro, you notice it. Especially if you do a bunch of, like, pushing people into the air. It's become harder to do that. But anyway, what's up, DK? I'm learning engineer. Check out what Uncle Dane is saying.
Small ammo pack, which brings me from 70 metal to 100 metal. This is enough to place a dispenser, which will then bring me back down to 10 metal. 10 is close enough to 0 metal to justify picking up a full ammo pack, so I can then go grab that and place the teleporter exit. The extra 10 metal lost is not a factor in setup time, since it's impossible for the buildings to be taking damage right now anyway. After the exit is placed, the sentry is now finished constructing on its own, so I can use the remaining 75 I have on the upgrading process. So you'll notice that almost instantly after the small ammo pack respawns, I'll pick it up and use it on the sentry,
too much
bringing
brain
the upgrade
usage,
process
dude.
to 110 out of 200. Again, the extra 10 metal is not exactly a factor in this situation, but since I'm there, I might as well. So now that I'm at 0 metal, I can reasonably pick up the full ammo pack and use that to continue the upgrade on the sentry. After I've spent all of that, the small ammo pack is respawned, and also the dispenser is finished constructing. So at this point, the combined metal from the pack and the dispenser should be enough to complete the upgrade process of the sentry to level 3 before the gates even open.
That's too much, man.
And we have a full ammo pack respawning just in time, so we can start getting that dispenser upgraded while waiting for the upcoming demo spam that is Dust Bowl. You may have noticed that I neglected upgrading the teleporter. I usually do this with the hope that some kind soul will have gone engineer at the start of the round. With
I do that sometimes.
Entrance to level 3 while it builds on its own on the other side.
Yeah, the song is a banger.
This is, of course,
just place buildings easy.
But it saves me time
is that what he's
to
saying?
invest everything in my other buildings just in case that happens. And now it's time for a relevant teamwork tip.
You seeing this?
If you're not playing as a medic or another dedicated engineer, support your local NGs and upgrade the teleporters at spawn. It takes 30 seconds to upgrade one to level 3, which is half the standard setup time, and it will help your team immensely.
Heck yeah.
The 400 metal I'm spending on a teleporter at the front lines, only using the time drops of ammo packs, could be better spent on a dispenser that can literally save your life.
It's beautiful.
So be a bro. Upgrade your NG's teleporters today.
Fair enough.
Sorry about the dumb accent. Well, that's all I have for you guys today on the topic of the basics of metal conservation and spending.
Okay. I get it. Okay, so nothing we can really glean from that other than the payload thing, but use your metal wisely. We don't need to watch this. I'm not gonna be doing a lot of cooperative engineering, but dealing with spies, do I care about that? I think this is more important. Let's go with this one. If this one is that good, maybe. You know what? Let's go here. Let's go with here. This one first.
Dispenser going up.
Copper is kind of fundamental. Well, they're technically all fundamental because it's 101. Yeah, but those are I think this one is more valuable. And also I don't want to watch every single video. I guess that's the honest truth. What?
Hey everyone, Uncle Dane back again. Another episode of engineering.
Oh, look at this improved YouTube video. Hey, what's up, Soup? You did miss a bunch of the stream, unfortunately, but all that we were doing is just what you're seeing right now. We're just looking at a bunch of YouTube videos, some Steam guides, some Reddit stuff. Spies is essential. Maybe we'll go back for it, but for now, I really want to watch this one.
101.
I'm really curious on this one.
This time, we're going to be going over a pretty important part of playing engineer, and that is essentially game sense. Now, most people have heard the word game sense thrown around before. It's basically the ability to make decisions based on the state of the game as a whole, and not necessarily just what is in front of you.
Yep.
For an engineer, game sense can come in extremely handy for staying alive and keeping your buildings constantly up in the correct places according to what is happening around you. In competitive mode and casual mode servers especially, you're going to be working with teammates who are probably not going to be communicating with you at all. So
that's me.
Relying on your game sense and taking cues to make certain plays based on other things around you is an important skill to develop. And that's what this episode is basically about. But for the most part, I'm going to be touching on the two most important
Those are cool. These types of
can make
things are
game,
cool.
and that is where your buildings will be the most effective based on what your team is doing,
yes,
and when it is a good idea to aggress.
See, this is like what I want to learn about the most. So this is a good video for me. Please tell me, Uncle Dane. I'm ready to learn.
But shall we? First off, there's something important you'll need to know about before we start, and that's the invisible barrier that we're going to call the front line. This is an invisible line that is
the thing you guys are saying,
moving backwards and forwards based on where you and your teammates are fighting the other team.
Yeah.
It is important, as an engineer, to be aware of where this line is as much as possible, because it can help you decide the best places for your buildings to go.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind that the front line can have a limit to how far forward it can go, and yes, sometimes it's literally right in front of the spawn room door.
You guys have been saying
this. Call unbalanced, and they don't really count. In an evenly matched game, the front line usually ends where the enemy team can see you from their spawn room door.
If can the enemy see you without having to leave their spawn room, you're over the front line safe limit. So the safe limit is if the enemy can see me from the spawn room.
Without having to physically leave it. For example, on payload upward, the front line is right here. The hill gives the defending team cover from the snipers who can easily headshot people from spawn. And any blue
sight
team
line is a better way of looking at it. Can the sniper headshot you? If not, you are behind the front line. Safe line. Okay, well, how did he? Okay, this is going to take me a second. Okay, let me do that actually. So, notes. Doesn't apply on sniper that can see it. Yeah, I'm just like wondering from like a sense of like, because, okay, if the enemy sniper can snipe you from within his spawn room, you are over the front line. You know, I'm just using sniper because it's like a good, like, easy way of me remembering. What I'm trying to say here is, can the enemies see me? Like, can the enemy see me without leaving the spawn? Like what he typed, okay? Can the enemy see me without having to leave their spawn room? Just yes or no. I know, I'm just using sniper because, like, I can get headshot. It's like, no, like, instead of thinking, like, it's every enemy except sniper? But if every enemy had a sniper, they all could see me still. I'm just like, like if an enemy sniper with the freaking what is it called? What's that weapon that doesn't has longer range vision? Yeah, but but the sniper can't see more than everyone else. He can just zoom in on what everyone else can also see. All right, okay, Chad. I'll change it up. Can the enemy, if the enemy can see you from within their spawn room, you are over the front lines. I just like thinking of sniper because it is helpful for my brain. Enemies will focus you as an engineer. Yeah, dude, if an enemy can see me from within their spawn, they're going to know that's the engineer. There's an engineer right there. Like, you become spotted. Obviously, if you become spotted as a class from far range, it doesn't really matter unless they're a sniper, because then the sniper can shoot you and kill you. Other classes can just kind of like take a note of you being there. A sniper can just kill you, but they can still all see the same. They all see the same. One can just zoom in. But anyway, whatever. I'll put it with how he said it. You're over the front line's safe limit. All right, let's move on then.
Gives the defending team cover from the snipers who can easily headshot people from spawn, and any blue team member who fights you in this area is going to have a huge advantage in that they have a payload cart to heal off of, as well as a safe spawn room to fall back to.
True.
As a member of the defending team, you have none of those things, so playing behind the front line as opposed to in front of it usually puts you at a huge advantage. You can even out the playing field a little bit by forcing them to come to you, away from the safety of their spawn room, and into your bulky defenses. More examples of the front line having a limit can be found if you look at where...
Someone posted a Steam link on the general chat in the Discord. Wait, what? Oh. You should do that in hashtag games, okay? Kwangwai. Hold on. Wait, I deleted the wrong thing. I guess I'll say it. Hold on. Sorry, I'm like being a Discord moderator right now. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on, I'm typing. Typers. Okay, we did it. Sorry. Discord mod. I'm not a Discord mod. I'm a Discord server owner. It's pretty different. Anyway, let's see what
your bulky defenses. More examples of the front line having a limit can be found if you look at where you're able to fight the enemy team without giving up your ability to fall back safely. Usually, a semi-experienced team will naturally fall into these positions, so when you're playing as engineer, being prepared to play around the established front line is important. So now that we know where our team is playing, let's talk about the ideal building placement situation, starting with the sentry gun. Ideally, your sentry should have the objective in its sightline while also not being too far forward. Placing your sentry gun in a way where your teammates are always playing either within or just outside of the range bubble is the best way to ensure that they have a backup damage dealer if things...
Oh, that felt really important. Okay, let's hear that carefully.
Or just outside. Placing your sentry gun in a way where your teammates are always playing either within or just outside of the range bubble is the best way to ensure that they have a backup damage dealer if things get to be a little too much for them to handle and they have to back up. You'll want to...
So I put the sentry where the sentry bubble is like the line of the sentry bubble is next to where my teammates / objective is at. How the heck do I type? How the heck do we make that into a note? Yeah, put sentry so that your teammates can retreat when they are in the bubble. Yeah, we had something like that already, like lure enemies into your nest. Right here. Place your nest in the place where your team can help to defend it. It's not quite this, but kind of close. Let's try that again. Place your sentry in a way that the sentry's view bubble? That the way that the sentry's view bubble is... Hold on.
Backup damage.
Fish.
Or just outside of the range bubble is in a way where your teammates are always playing either within or just outside of the range bubble is the best way teammates are always playing either within.
Oh, the range bubble is within, is close. The limit of the sentry's range bubble is close to where your team can type is fighting. I guess. Place your sentry in a way that the limit of the sentry's range bubble is close to where your team is fighting. Right? That's good enough. Sentry place is right behind your team's position for support. Yeah.
In or just outside of the range bubble is the best way.
Is around to where... Whatever. Good enough. Good enough.
To ensure that they have a backup damage dealer if things get to be a little too much for them to handle and they have to back up. You'll want to place the gun in a spot where it will...
A visual guide will work better than a text. Well, I can't really type a drawing, so it's a little hard. You're not wrong, though. We'll just watch this video again if we have to, but... Now let's try to absorb as much as possible for this video.
A little too much for them to handle, and they have to back up. You'll want to place the gun in a spot where it will take the least amount of damage from a distance while also providing a way to punish enemies who extend just a little too far into your team's holding area. And remember, the biggest counter to a sentry gun is an uber-charged power class, so keeping the gun far enough back in order to make it difficult for the ubered enemies to actually walk up to and damage the sentry while they're invulnerable is a recipe for a great sentry spot. As for dispensers, these buildings are extremely important and should be placed in a safe area where the enemy can't actively spam at it or the teammates who are going to be using it. So finding a wall or a bit of cover closest to the front lines without also being so far forward that it gets destroyed can be exactly what your team needs to effectively fall back to when they're hurt and then continue to stay in the fight once they're refreshed. It's important to not put the dispenser so far back that it encourages teammates to congregate so far away from the front line that the enemy is able to advance forward, but you also shouldn't place it so far up that you constantly have to repair or rebuild it when the enemy inevitably finds it and destroys it. And remember, the dispenser isn't just for you to use, it's for the team to use, so don't just put it down next to...
The Steam guides we were reading said the opposite. The Steam guides and Reddit posts we were reading said the opposite. Uncle Dane disagrees with you, internet. But okay, dispenser for your team.
just for you to use. It's for the team to use. So don't just put it down next to your sentry gun where your team won't be able to use it safely. Remember, the enemy is going to be shooting at your sentry gun, and you don't want your team to be taking collateral damage while they're using a dispenser. So place it far enough forward for your teammates to use it, while also allowing yourself to walk over and get metal out of it when you need it. It's also important to note that placing all of your buildings next to each other in general is a one-way ticket to get everything destroyed by one demo man or a sapper happy spy. So the more you spread out your buildings to protect from singular attacks, the less likely it will be that everything goes down in one simple push from the enemy. Just don't spread everything out too far, because if something gets sapped or damaged, you'll want to be able to walk over and deal with it in time. And the teleporter is the last building to talk about.
So essentially for the dispenser, what he's saying is I gotta place it where my team can use it and not get spammed. I think I already knew that. I think I already knew that I should put my dispenser in a place where it's safe from enemies. Enemies can't see it and spam it, but my team can use it always. So I don't think we need to add a note for that one. That's pretty, straightforward. What about teleporters though? Teleporters, it's very difficult for me to know where to put a teleporter.
Here, and it's also the most passively placed building compared to the other two. You'll want to put it in a place somewhere relatively far back from the front lines, but also placed in a way that encourages the user to walk in the right direction when they arrive at the exit. If the
encourages the player... Oh, nice transition here that he did. See? He went from freaking mountain lab.
But also placed in a way that encourages the user to walk in the right direction when they arrive at
walk
the
in the right direction.
If the enemy can see the teleporter without actively infiltrating the defenses, it's too far forward. If the teleporter is too far back, then it loses its usefulness because it starts to place your teammates in a way that allows the enemy to start pushing forward again. Try and hide the teleporters in a place where the enemy won't find it, but also doesn't get your teammates lost when they use it. Face the teleporter towards where you want the user to go by right-clicking to rotate it when you're about to place it. The arrow on the blueprint indicates what direction the person will be facing when they pop out of the exit, so don't face that arrow towards a wall or in the opposite direction of where they're supposed to be going. So now that you know where the best places are to put each building relative to the current front line, let's get into the...
Should I put any note for the teleporter? It also feels pretty, simple. Just put your teleporter that is placed, that it takes your team, like it's faced towards where your team is supposed to go, but don't put it too close to the thing to where it can get shot at. Like a little bit behind your dispenser, essentially. So I think we don't need a note about that one. Next.
You'll hear, what do you do when everything starts to get a little out of hand? What should an engineer do when it...
Make it face so that you can't get backstabbed? And what if I want that to happen? I mean, what? I know that. I take care of the backstabbing. Because usually I'm the one that gets backstabbed. And then I'm like, oh, I don't want that to happen to me. I mean, my teammates getting backstabbed is whatever, but...
His dispenser goes down, his teleporter is sapped, and his sentry gun is taking way too much damage to keep healing. Well, the simple answer is this: don't be afraid to abandon ship. Too often, I see newer engineers extremely dedicated to holding onto a point that is in the process of being overrun or is simply already capped. While this dedication is respectable, it's simply not worth your life to possibly get a few more kills. As an engineer, being the dude in charge of your nest of powerful supportive buildings, your life is much more important than your sentries, your dispensers, or your teleporter's life. Engineer nests take considerably
look at him just
less
knowing
time
how
to
to
set
build
up on the
another
next
nest
point
like
without
this.
tacking on a respawn timer. So
That's
how
crazy.
does an engineer notice that they're about to be overrun? Being a support class who is often set up somewhere behind the front lines without a visual on how your team fight is going, it can be very difficult to tell what is happening up there. But the biggest tool for being aware of the game state is examining what we call the numbers advantage.
Oh boy.
You can do this by either pressing the tab key to look at the scoreboard,
Oh, I press the tab key all the time.
or by simply looking at the handy mini death tracker at the very top of the screen. The people with dimmed out names and skulls next to them are currently dead. So if you notice that there is an overwhelming difference in alive players and dead players between your team and the enemy team, you are at a numbers disadvantage.
Good sneeze.
You may consider falling back or be prepared to fight a lot of people on your own. Generally, if you look at the scoreboard and see that the enemy team prepared to fight a lot of people on your own. Generally, if you look at the scoreboard and see that the enemy team has a numbers advantage, you should be prepared to play very defensively, or if you believe that it will be simply
No, Fish, I see you cry right there. I was actually just yesterday just kind of skimming through one of the Bloodborne VODs because I've been uploading them to the VOD channel, !VOD. And like from a 2020 VOD, I sneeze and then I say, what did I say? Oh, I think I say thank you, Fish, for the because you said bless you or something. And I was like, wow. From 5 years ago. Still, some things never change. Anyway, so this is a good advice.
Too much numbers advantage. You should be prepared to...
Be prepared to abandon your nest if there's too many dead players on your team compared to the enemy. Good advice. That's a good advice. I like that advice, okay? Good advice. Okay.
Play very defensively, or if you believe that it will be simply too much to handle by yourself, fall back to the next point where you will be supported by your respawning teammates. This numbers advantage rule of thumb can be applied to pretty much any class, including the Battle Engineer subclass. Every class can be powerful if the situation is in their favor, but being outnumbered or facing a class that counters your current strategy is never an ideal situation. So falling back is a legitimate strategy that will allow you to be much stronger when you face that same enemy again, because you can choose to fight with your team to even the playing field instead of purposefully taking a fight that you can't win. An important skill in TF2 is the ability to recognize when you are at a disadvantage and making plays based around that knowledge. For an engineer, any 2 versus 1 encounter where you don't have a sentry gun to back you up is almost always going to be a disadvantage for you. So playing passively and trying not to allow yourself to be put in these situations until you
look at this engineer gameplay,
sentry gun to back you up is the best way to approach fights. The engineer by itself is a pretty weak class that gets more powerful the longer he's left to his own devices to build supportive buildings. So staying alive as engineer is the key to becoming stronger over time. There's a saying for engineers and support classes in general. An engineer is only as strong as his team, which means that if your team isn't supporting you, you won't be nearly as effective. There is a finite amount of impact a single engineer can make by himself.
Yes, same,
that's just the way that support classes work. Once you come to accept that, it will be much easier to recognize what fights you can and can't win.
Also reminds me of Darm McDonald.
Easier to decide the best times to retreat and regroup. Another great indicator.
No, sorry, I'm not paying attention to the video.
Is if your sentry gun goes down. Now,
yes.
In this instance, you shouldn't simply give up and go to the next point just because you lose one building, but the sentry gun is important for keeping people away from your squishy, weak NG body, so if you're caught in a situation without one, you should try your best to stay out of harm's way until you can safely build another one. Falling back only a few feet away behind a wall where your sentry gun can't be actively fired at while you construct it is the best way to rebuild without constantly being attacked. You can easily gauge whether it's safe to move the gun back into a more effective position by checking the scoreboard.
So basically what he's saying is just the sentry going down and you still have people alive, maybe consider falling back, building a sentry, then coming back, is what she's saying, right?
Or by simply peeking back out to see if your team has won the battle and you can return the sentry to its more effective position. Now, falling back is important for the longevity of your life and making the most out of your time on the battlefield, but the second part of taking advantage of the numbers difference between teams is knowing when it's a good idea to move that gear up. As we discussed earlier, buildings are only effective when they're placed in a way.
Wait. I already get what he's going to say. And conversely, is that how you say that? And conversely to the above note, if there's a lot of dead... There's a lot of dead players on the enemy team compared to your own, consider moving that gear up. That's a good note. That's a good note. So every now and then I should check the scoreboard, and if there's like a lot of them that are dead, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is a good opportunity for me to move that gear up, right? Interesting. Also, if you still have the numbers advantage and only your sentry goes down, consider backing up, building another sentry, and then bringing it backing up to some cover, building another sentry and bringing it back to your nest. Okay, this has probably been the best video so far. It's the video that feel like that taught me the most.
Where your team
Good
can
video.
take advantage of them from
Good
the front
video.
lines. And in offensive situations, being active with moving your buildings to where the fighting is happening is extremely important. On offense, the front line is ideally moving forward at a consistent pace with small pauses where fights happen and offensive pushes are prepared. So as an engineer, you need to be proactive about responding to successful pushes and moving your gear forward with your team. The most important building for offense is the teleporter. Being able to keep the entrance and exit in the correct spots quickly is a skill that requires thinking ahead and a little bit of map knowledge. Be aware of where your team's spawn is moved to when they cap a point, and be prepared to get a teleporter entrance in front of it as soon as possible. A dispenser can act as a second medic for an offensive team, so remember to keep in a spot that allows them to fall back when they're hurt without having to walk too far or getting spammed out while they're healing up. And a sentry gun is primarily a defensive tool, but in the moments where there's a standstill and your team needs time to build up uber for a push, a sentry gun can still be very effective in denying overextending players trying to disrupt your team's preparations. Not to mention, building a sentry near the objective on
Dude,
offense
that's
can be very
crazy.
effective in denying defenders
That is
from
just
defending
crazy.
you the cap time. It all just comes down to timing
This
your
is
placement
sending his
correctly.
sentry over there?
Excellent sentry placement.
Overall, the knowledge of what to do in certain situations can be obtained by
Vanny
looking
cameo?
at the scoreboard or recognizing when you can or can't take a fight, and it can improve your game sense and make you a better engineer. But the most important step towards getting good at these things is acceptance. Realizing that the engineer is certainly not the strongest class in the game, and that it's definitely not intended to be a class that racks up a ton of easy kills, is an important thing to consider. Because in the end, an engineer is only as strong as his team, and when your team isn't around, you need to be able to make decisions that can affect the outcome better than if you were to just go down with the ship and be dead when you could be rebuilding. So practice walking away. There's absolutely no shame in retreating when you're at a disadvantage. In fact, it's often an extremely skillful play to make, given that you are actively keeping your team supported along the way. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I will talk to you nieces and nephews next time. Bye-bye.
All right, dude, that was a really, really good video. Honestly, yeah, that was a good video. Engineer tips and tricks. Okay, this might be the last engineer video we'll watch. Unless there's another, like, really good video that I should also watch. Is there? Hold on, before... Because I feel like I've learned... I feel like my brain is expanded. Look at all these notes. I feel like I get it now, dude. I get it. Kind of. I kind of get it. Not really. Just get ready for me to freaking... The Delphi engineer video? Delphi? Who's Delphi? Is that a good video, Chad? Delphi engineer video? Have I watched that person before? Maybe. Are they Uncle Dane, though? Anyway, okay, last video, potentially. The series finale. This is the series finale. Okay, this probably is going to give us so many good tips. And tricks, even. Subtitles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode.
I love subtitles. I'm like a squirrel in autumn.
In fact,
exactly.
This one is special because it's actually the very last one. After you've watched this video, along with all of the previous episodes of Engineering 101, I think I can safely say that you've unofficially graduated and can no longer really call yourself a beginner engineer.
Woo!
You can promote yourself to like intermediate or something. Anyway, this doesn't mean that I won't be making any more tutorials.
He shows TF2 glitch. Oh, dude, we're gonna be able to like place sentries outside of bounds. Yo, that's a good tip. Hold on, let's finish this video first.
Style videos. I think that I've just exhausted all of the major topics surrounding advice for beginner level engineer players. So what better way to do a series finale than to throw out a bunch of miscellaneous tips and tricks that individually don't really deserve an entire video on their own, but are very useful nonetheless. So without further ado, let's start with some tips on...
All right, get ready to take some notes.
One of the easiest ways to be efficient as engineer is to try and do multiple things at once as much as possible. Pre-building is something you can easily do at spawn when upgrading your own teleporter. Often, this will happen when your team's spawns move forward and you happen to be out on the battlefield. You should always prioritize replacing the teleporters as quickly as possible so that your team can keep up the pressure. Because you don't have to build teleporters in any particular order, you should always place down the exit whenever you are close to where you plan on putting it down later. This way, when you end up at spawn again, your teleporter entrance will be the only thing that you have to build before it's ready to use. And this is where pre-building can come in. While you're upgrading your own teleporter at spawn, you can use the downtime to preemptively build a sentry or dispenser that you plan on bringing to the front after you fully
that's a good tip. Hold on, I like that tip. Hold on. How do I type this? Okay, how do we make this into a nice simple tip? When The team spawns upgrade? No, what's the term? How do you put it?
Always priority. Rebuilding is something you can easily do at spawn when upgrading your own teleporter.
Upgrading your teleporter.
This will happen when your team's...
Okay, when your team moves forward. When your team moves forwards and the spawn changes, build an exit first and then go to spawn. Spawn. At spawn, you can pre-build dispensers / sentries as you upgrade your entrance. Like that? When your team moves forward and I'm sorry, ESL, English Language Language, okay, chat. When your team moves forward and the spawn changes, build an exit first and then go to spawn. At spawn, you can pre-build dispenser sentry as you upgrade your entrance. Right? It's a good tip. Eureka effect rollouts, kind of, yeah. I do like the Eureka effect.
Spawn, you can use the down fully upgraded teleporter. Sentry guns are much faster to build than dispensers, so if you have to choose between the two, I'd recommend pre-building the dispenser. Usually by the time you're done upgrading the teleporter, the dispenser will be finished building, and all you have to do is replenish your metal and carry it through the teleporter to the front lines. Not only does this save you time, but it also takes advantage of the unlimited metal that you can get from spawn, which gives you more metal to work with once you get to your holding area. Not to mention hauled buildings rebuild spawn, which gives you more metal to work with once you get to your holding area.
Unlimited
Not to mention
metal,
hauled buildings rebuild themselves at double speed, which will make them available at the front lines faster than if you were to build it on site. It also can provide you a bit of protection from cheeky spawn campers who might try and interrupt your upgrade progress if you decide to build a sentry gun. Another efficient thing that you can do at spawn while upgrading your teleporter is something that I like to call recharge skipping. Each level of your teleporter has a different recharge time, with a level 1 taking 10 seconds to recharge, a level 2 taking 5 seconds, and a level 3 taking 3 seconds. However, the recharge time will reset back to 0 when you upgrade the teleporter, which you can actually use to your advantage when there is a long line of people trying to use it while you upgrade it. Teleporters only take about 1 second to go through the upgrade animation, so you can save a lot of time filtering your team through your teleporter this way. If you keep an eye on the recharge loading bar on your HUD, you can time your final hit to upgrade the teleporter to effectively skip the recharge time for each level. Compare this to how clunky sending multiple people through the teleporter is if you were to just mindlessly
That's some next level like efficiency, dude.
Meter, and you can see just how effective this method can be in the long run, especially when you've got half your team trying to get through to the front lines. Alright, enough about...
Okay, how the heck do I type that note? That's good. Time your last... That's basic TF2 knowledge? That's basic engineer knowledge. You know what's my basic TF2 knowledge? W, M1, and if there's a soldier in front of me, M2. That's my basic TF2 knowledge, okay? Engineer stuff never went through this noggin. Never once. Yeah, you engineer players are built different. I never had to think of this sort of stuff. It makes sense when I read it and I see it. It makes sense, but it's been there since TF2. I know you always knew. I know you engineer players always knew. I didn't know. I mean, I understand it. I was like, it makes sense that you would do that, but I have... How many hours do I have as an engineer? But I never even, like, freaking play engineer unless... I never even place teleporters down, okay? Do you want me to just say it? Whenever I play engineer, it's just been like mini sentry and shotgun, and that's it. I don't know anything about teleporters. Listen. I know you guys are too smart, but you guys realize I'm too dumb. It's that simple. Okay, time your last hit to upgrade a teleporter so that it overlaps with the teleporter's cooldown as it gets reset. Right? You can skip recharge in the power by upgrading it while it's charging. You know what? That's pretty good. I think... Yeah, because the upgrade resets the cooldown. Yeah, dude, it's like, again, engineer players, they get it, because that's like part of their life. Me, that ain't never been a part of my life. Okay, so thank you, chat. Time your last hit to a player so it overlaps with the teleporter's cooldown, as it will reset it. As it will reset it. And again, I got nothing but respect, okay, for the people that play Engineer. I love you, okay? You're the reason I can have fun in TF2 sometimes, is because you freaking, you know, help me, okay? So I appreciate you. I'm a sniper mains in TF2. Listen, I know you know. You're smarter than me. I'm not saying it otherwise. Listen, I don't care. If I ever saw Engineer tips, I mean, okay, it's going to sound rude, but whenever I found out, like, oh, do you know that you can upgrade your teleporter to overlap with the teleporter's cooldown? I'm just saying it. It goes 1 year, and it probably goes out the other. I'm sorry. You forced me. Listen, I've been playing this game for 15 years. I've heard it all, but I don't really retain information if it's about a class that I don't play. It's that simple. I just don't retain it. I'm like, okay, that's cool for the Engineer players. For me, I'm good. I don't need to put that in. It's a read-only memory, okay? Read-only memory. But anyway, let's try and make it a permanent memory from now on, yeah? Let's put it in a permanent memory. Also, sorry, there's ads, chat. Sorry. Engineers are the janitors of the TF2 playbase. There's the nurses of the TF2 playbase. Then what does that make the medic then? If not the nurse. Well, I guess he's the doctor, and the nurse is different technically from a doctor. Fair enough. Anyway, seeing it in action is better. Yes, that I agree. All right, next.
Teleporters. Let's talk about everyone's favorite aimbots.
Let's be for real. Medic players have fun. They have more fun than Engineer, that's for sure. I don't know if it's always fun, but true. I mean, medic players, it's stressful, but at least you know what you must do, okay? Medic players at least know their job, and they're like, okay, I gotta heal. I gotta put them medic gun on them people. That's your job, and that's what you do. Simple, right? Just very simple. Engineer players is like, okay, I gotta get a teleporter, gotta get a dispenser, I gotta get a sentry. Oh, the front line just changed. I gotta move my buildings. Enough of my teammates have died, so I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Medic doesn't need to hear all this. He's a highly trained professional. True.
Sentry guns. Now, I'm not going to talk about sentry gun placement, as I've already gone over what exactly makes a sentry spot good in a previous episode of
we watched that one. Good video.
But I will go over a few very useful tips that you can use when building, maintaining, and sneaking around with your old reliable friend here. First off, it's always good practice to put at least a few metal into the upgrade progress of your sentry gun before committing to fully upgrading it. Reason being that if your sentry gun starts firing, you'll be forced to spend part of your metal supply on replenishing the ammo that it spends, and just one bullet being fired at some random scout in the distance can prevent you from reaching the next level. But more importantly, it's crucial that
Let me view that. That makes sense. So sometimes you're replenishing the ammo, so it doesn't upgrade it. That actually makes a lot of sense. I never thought about that. I don't know if that's worth it to put on the notes. I don't think that's noteworthy, but it is a fun fact. A nice tip. Whoops, I'm messing with the subtitles, my bad.
We'll go over a few very useful tips that you... First off, it's always good practice to put at least a few metal into the upgrade progress of your sentry gun before committing to fully upgrading it. Reason being that if your sentry gun starts firing, you'll be forced to spend part of your metal supply on replenishing the ammo that it spends.
Cool.
And
I'm not going to put that in the notes,
being
but
fired at some random scout in the distance can prevent you from reaching the next level. But more importantly, it's crucial that you are aware of the upgrade progress in conjunction with whether it's currently firing or not. Since upgrading your sentry gun actually causes it to stop shooting for a second, you can sometimes inadvertently give your sentry gun's target
this one I knew.
In on it and take it out. Even though a level 1 sentry fires slower than a level 2, it can often be worth holding off on upgrading it until after it's finished killing what it's currently firing at. Otherwise, that brief second of ceasefire can be the difference between you or your teammates living or dying to the intruder. Ninja-neering alert.
That scared the hell out of me, dude.
As long as we're talking about sentry guns killing people, I've got a tip for you sneaky Engies out there who like to hide your gun in places that no one expects them to be. First of all, once your hidden sentry gun kills one or two people, it's pretty important that you move it, even if it's not that far away from where it was before. This is a good idea for most sentry gun positions, but usually if someone gets killed by a sentry gun that they were surprised by, the first thing that they're going to do after they respawn is go and get revenge on the guy that tricked them into dying in some dumb way. But in more specific, more 300 IQ play that you can make when building sentry guns that are hidden around random corners on the flank or in an obscure room somewhere is to face the sentry gun towards the wall. I know.
Okay.
It sounds like something that
Wait,
a fresh install would do because he doesn't know how to turn the gun with his PDA, but hear me out. Typically, when someone walks through a doorway, they have one of two options: keep walking forward or retreat. And the biggest indication that a player should continue to walk forward is that they are not getting shot at. Conversely, the biggest indication that a player should retreat is that they are taking damage from an unknown source.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
Your hidden corner sentry gun.
that whole time I was like just basically what he's saying is if they immediately get shot at, like if this is like, I don't know if I want to do sneaky sentries though, so I don't know if this really helps me that much, but still interesting.
Is facing the person right when they walk through the door, they will instantly start taking damage and they will likely back up as soon as possible. A full health player who does this probably won't die to the sentry gun and will likely just corner peek the gun until it goes down, and your surprise will have been effectively ruined. However, if your sentry gun is facing the wall, it will take a brief moment to turn around, which will allow the victim
to
continue
ninja
and greatly decrease his options for retreat
one of these
once
days,
it starts to
maybe
fire at them. Basically, the further into the room that they walk without taking damage, the longer the sentry gun will be able to shoot them as they attempt to retreat, which will more often result in their death. So yeah, sometimes facing your sentry gun towards a wall is actually the mega brain play that you never saw coming. Maybe these Gibbous engineers are onto something here. Alright, the last thing that I want to say about sentry guns in particular actually has to do with not facing it towards walls, but rather placing them up against walls.
Because of splash damage.
Avoid it, don't
I
do
know
this.
that.
The reason being that your sentry gun is always susceptible to long-range rockets and splash damage. And while a good soldier will aim his rockets true and land his directs effortlessly while flying through the air, not everyone is this perfect. And a big part of getting better at TF2 is forcing your enemies to make as little mistakes as possible in order to get the better of you. And if you place your gun far away from a wall, the splash damage from poorly...
Wait, I'm getting summoned. Give me just 1 second. BRB. I don't have the proper BRB screen here. Whatever. BRB. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. Apparently we have visitors. I did not know, but apparently today is not... Yesterday was not the only babysitting day. Apparently there's another day. I did not know. So maybe this will have to be a bit of a cut short stream, unfortunately. But honestly, I still think we got a lot of good advice here. So it was not a wasted day, for sure. But yeah, I might have to cut it short, chat. I'm sorry. Freaking. Sometimes that's how it has to be. Learned a lot, yeah. I think we still did learn a lot, but still, I think we can still watch at least 1 or 2 more videos, okay? Maybe we'll even go into TF2 for a second and just place some sentries down and like look at the maps in the engineer eyes or something. Maybe. Anyway.
Aimed rockets will not hit them. Simple as that. If you're the kind of person that...
Previous advice from earlier. Awkward for them to attack, but more convenient for your sentry to attack. True! That is like that advice we had. Yeah. True. Freaking, where is it? Yeah, that one. True. That is the facing them. Oh, DK had to leave while I was AFK. Well, take care, DK. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. Not that you can hear this, but there you go. I still said goodbye. Anyway.
Tends to back your sentry gun up against a wall or into a corner, thinking that it's safer. You're actually just making it easier for an Ubered soldier to damage your gun without really trying all that hard. So be aware of walls and try to keep about 2 or 3 NG's distance away
it's a goodbye in
from
spirit.
That can catch a rocket and hurt your
2
precious
NG's in distance.
Okay, so how about a little trick with dispensers? Do you ever have a problem where your team is too good? They're all fully healed up by your godlike medic and they're just pumping out bullets and rockets at 100 miles an hour.
It's a pretty rare thing for me,
but figure out how to place the dispenser in a way that makes it parallel with the angle that the sunlight is shining down at. When one of the Chad heavies yells, "Put dispenser here!" Well, if you don't have time to build a dispenser before your teammates are all completely out of ammo, you can just quickly build and destroy a dispenser right next to them to save the day.
This seems a little niche.
Counterintuitive to destroy your own dispenser to give people ammo, but sometimes that's literally all your teammates need.
That's a little niche, isn't it?
Believe it or not,
it's fun.
Gib a lot of ammunition when picked up, and I mean a lot.
Really?
A dispenser, when destroyed, drops 5 building parts, or gibs, each of which gives ammo equal to 50% of the class's total ammo
voice
capacity.
commands.
That means that one...
I know about the strategy where you can like you can like killbind and give your engineer medal. I know that strat. I guess this is like a reverse of that idea, essentially. That's interesting. I don't know if should I add this to the notes. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Destroyed dispenser is equal to 5 medium ammo packs. That's equivalent to.
This is a chat will tell me like when we play next. Oh, by the way, remember that thing where you can destroy dispenser to that godlike player? Because we are gonna listen. Day 5, we are gonna play on Uncletopia all day. All right, and Uncletopia, you already know, gonna have some top tier players. Sorry, I bumped the mic. So, maybe in Uncletopia it'll have some use, but still interesting.
You'd get by standing next to a level 3 dispenser for
There's
6
a godlike
seconds.
heavy on my team.
So it's safe to say that sometimes sacrificing 100 metal to instantly replenish your team's ammo is completely worth it. And if you have 100 metal left, you can just start building another dispenser right afterwards anyway. Speaking of dispensers, did you know that the payload cart is a dispenser? That's right. A payload cart distributes health, ammo, and metal at the same speed of a level 1 dispenser. The main difference between the payload cart and a dispenser is, however, that the payload cart can never run out of metal, and it can't be destroyed. Well, at least not until after you count the last point, but that's irrelevant. So while you're pushing the cart as engineer, take this opportunity where you practically have unlimited metal to just start chucking down buildings like
that makes
thing. So
dude, that's such a silly tip, but it makes so much sense. As an offensive engineer, you should just always be like if you're really near the cart, just put stuff down because you're near the cart. That makes it's one of those things that it makes so much sense, but I've never thought about it like that. Right? That makes a lot of sense. Like, just place stuff down because you got a freaking infinite metal supply next to the payload. For offensive engineer, I kind of like, you know what? I am actually going to add that to the notes. I like it. It's, again, one of those things that every engineer player already knows very intuitively, but I never, connected the 1 plus 1 equals 11. So, while you're near the payload as offensive and engineer, while near the payload as offensive engineer, don't forget you have unlimited metal thanks to the cart. So start chunking out. Start spamming some buildings. I don't know. Start spamming some buildings. I don't know. Good note.
Having a dedicated payload sentry gun is one of the easiest and most effective things an offensive engineer can do. There should practically never be a reason why you don't have a sentry gun nearby if you are pushing the cart. You can even abuse the rescue ranger to constantly keep the gun near the cart without having to walk back to grab it every time that you want to move forward. And you might as well put up a dispenser, sure, why not? And hey, a teleporter too. I mean, you're not paying for it. Just pretend you're a teenage girl and the payload cart is your mom's credit card. Just keep on spending. There's literally no limit.
Nice analogy.
Just go for it. Side note, if you actually are a teenage girl, please do not assume that your mom's credit card has no limit. It does. Buy my shirts. Okay, so the last bit of advice that I have for beginner engineers is simply this. Have fun. I know I take this game and this class way too seriously, and that's my own burden to bear, but never forget that the engineer is hands down the class that allows for the most creativity, the most opportunities for the wildest of plays, and the best way to play a support class without 100% relying on your teammates in order to be successful. The engineer is basically a sandbox game within a
sandbox
shooter,
game,
and there's a lot of potential for exciting moments there. So don't spend your entire NG career sitting in a corner waiting for the enemy to come to you. Bring your buildings to them. Bring the buildings to your team. Play aggressive, but play it smart. And most importantly, play TF2 in VR because you can literally look behind your own back for spies while you're upgrading your sentry in front of you. It's the most overpowered strategy in the game, okay?
All right. That's a good video, dude. That was a good video. It told me a lot. Honestly, by the way, don't forget to save. I didn't save that paste bin this entire time. That's so many notes, dude. Holy freaking crap. Look at all these notes, dude. Holy. And these are the Uncle Dane ones. These are the internet notes. They're pretty good. So from now on, chat, whenever we want to play engineer, and you're like, I wonder what I'm doing wrong, we can check back with these notes and like see if there's something here that I'm not doing. And maybe we can learn from it. Pretty sick. That's pretty sick, I gotta say. All right. Man, I didn't know my niece was coming to visit. But apparently neither did my my parents. It just kind of happened. What do I do for like the last 30 minutes? IBRT. Yeah, reaction streams. Yes, it's reaction streams. It happened. Reacting to Uncle Dane. Is there any other engineer guide that Uncle Dane has that would be a really cool watch, chat? Does anyone know? Informational? Like, that's way too long, okay? Teleport etiquette, engineer rules, Delphi 9 commas mistakes. I want Uncle Dane though. I don't know. Level 2, level 3, engineer mindset, trickle down balance, TF2 maps. Outdated, that we don't click that one. Now you need to download a GIF of you and stick it onto TF2 clips to spam YouTube shorts. It doesn't work as well when you don't have a face cam is the problem, man. Unfortunate, but it's true. Okay. 30 minutes making engineer loadouts. Oh, making engineer loadouts? Okay, this is I kind of am curious on what this is. What this is. Engineer mindset.
Dispenser going up.
I think this is what I want to learn. Let's see this one.
Today I wanted to talk about something I'm just going to call the engineer mindset, which can encompass a wide variety of things, but basically it boils down to what you, as an engineer player, should be thinking about, and your general attitude when going into any game of TF2 as the Texan robot.
Yes, this is perfect.
Usually
Actually, this is the perfect video that I wanted to watch.
What I think about an engineer's
Let's go.
unlockable weapon, or what you should be doing with your teleporters or your dispensers, but I never really talk about the bigger picture, and that's what this discussion is going to focus on.
Oh, yes.
The first thing I guess we can talk about is what I find a lot of new engineers seem to struggle with, and at the very least, what the casual engineer players always complain about when switching to engineer for their team, getting their buildings destroyed.
I love them.
I always seem to get this question, Dean, how do you deal with your buildings going down? I can't stand it when I spend all this time building up my nest, only for it to get taken down by some
That is my least favorite thing about engineers, it's true.
Now, yeah, getting your buildings destroyed can be pretty frustrating. I don't think anyone is immune to the pains of spending time on something only for it to be erased in an instant, but you have to remember that the simple fact of the matter is this: getting your buildings destroyed is a part of playing engineer. A pretty large part of playing engineer, in fact. I mean, if you're putting something on the battlefield that the other team can destroy, chances are it's going to get destroyed at some point, especially if the teams are relatively even. In fact, you could go so far as to say that one of the main purposes of an engineer's buildings is to be destroyed by the other team. I mean, when it comes down to the basics of how TF2 works, the engineer's buildings, especially sentry guns, are an obstacle that you're placing there for the enemy team to try and destroy. So if you're doing your job correctly, which is area denial, you're essentially preventing your enemy from completing an objective. So therefore, their objective becomes killing your shit. So when the enemy team successfully does that, how can you complain? They did what they were supposed to do, and the only thing that you can try and do in return is survive long enough to keep building obstacles again for them to destroy again. So because of the engineer's natural state of creating things...
I just realized that my day 2 goal has been above these subtitles the whole time. No one has told me!
So that they can be destroyed. The engineer...
Hold on, you know what? What if I put it here instead then? No one told me I was blocking it. You guys couldn't read the subtitle. I guess you have ears so you can hear it, but still.
Player's mindset has to be that of resilience.
Fair enough.
You simply cannot afford to be disappointed when your buildings get destroyed. It's just setting yourself up for disappointment. It's like going through medical school to become a doctor and then quitting on your first day when you realize that you have to touch people's balls. It's just a part of the job.
What?
In fact,
I don't know about that analogy,
that is
dude.
Probably more close to home than that one is to compare it to playing medic. You're going to be able to heal your team and keep them alive, which is really powerful. But at the end of the day, the goal of the other team is to kill you and to make sure you are dead as much as possible. So
that
yeah,
means
you're
true.
going
I
to
mean,
get
I love
backstabbed and
medics,
headshot,
so I
and
guess
you're
that's
going to
true.
drop Uber every once in a while, but that doesn't mean that you should give up on playing medic. It just means that you shouldn't peek the sniper with the 3 unusuals anymore. So to wrap up that thought is just this: don't be discouraged when your buildings get destroyed. Just
weirdly enough, I mean, apart from the ball analogy, he's kind of spitting here, because I do love playing medic, but I don't like playing as engineer. Even though you do die so much as medic, like it's just all you do is just die. and you die, and you die, and you die. And I still love medic, so... Man, I still don't like it when buildings get destroyed, though.
Try to assess what it was that got your buildings destroyed in the first place, and try to avoid
guess I'll
that situation
suck
next time.
it up
No, that
on the
doesn't
Engineer
mean
Week.
Building on last, James Garbanzo, 1998. Yeah, sure, it's true that no one can destroy your buildings if you put them where no one will ever find you, but you might as well be playing on an empty server at that point. Get involved, James. Move that gear up. Another thing to talk about regarding the engineer mindset is something I talked about in an Engineering 101 video a while ago called Game Sense. And while it might not have been the most exciting topic for a video, I do feel like it's one of the most important things that you have to understand when getting better an engineer and TF2 in general.
What do you got
Game
for us?
Sense is often very important to the engineer because as a generally background class who plays behind the front line most of the time, you have to be able to use cues taken from various sources to get an idea of what the game state is like and use that information to your advantage. Now, I'm not going to just go revisit all that stuff here. You can go.
We already watched that video
for yourself.
Good video.
More specifics. But what I want to talk about for this video is the mindset that you have to have regarding the game state, and that is proactive reaction. Now, basically what I mean is you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again if it's not working. I know I just got done talking about not giving up on engine when I play Pyro, but okay. Destroyed, but what I'm talking about here is different. If you walk out of spawn and your level 1 sentry gun goes down for the 3rd time in a row to the same soldier sitting there, are you gonna try it a 4th time? Some players take the resilience to heart and they keep doing it as long as they have time left in the round, but this is not the right mindset to have. As an engineer, you have to be reactive to obstacles thrown at you, which means that instead of trying your absolute darndest to get that level 3 sentry gun up, maybe you should just switch gears for a second and change your loadout to something that might be able to deal with that current problem. You could try using the short circuit to keep the soldier off your gun while it builds. You could switch to the shotgun and try and kill.
So basically, at the end of the day, all that we're reading with all of this engineer guys, all of what we've done on this stream is really just boiling down to the simple fact of use your brain and think about if it's going to work or not, and try and go from there. And it's making me realize that I usually just play TF2 as a, well, if I hit my shots, they die. And that's usually how I play. So this is really the biggest roadblock that I have when it comes to engineer, is that he can't. I mean, you can, listen, day one, if you notice, if you go back and watch day one, it was mostly just me gunslingering, mini sentry down, shotgun. And in casual servers, you can kind of get away with it, right? You can kind of get some frags and do okay-ish, but it's like, it's not quite how he should be played, because to really truly play him, you do gotta use that noggin, huh? All right, Mr. Uncle Dane, maybe you know what you're talking about. Maybe you do, and maybe I don't know how to play Team Fortress.
Yourself as the engineer. Your teammates can't do it. You can switch to the gunslinger to temporarily have at least some form of area denial that doesn't cost as much to replace when it gets destroyed. All of these options are viable for a situation that is merely a single moment in your TF2 game, and quickly making the decision to try something else when your current plan isn't working sets the good players apart from, well, the new players. So in short, being able to tell the difference between something that is good later and something that is good right now is something an engineer player should be able to do in any situation. In fact, unlockable weapons as a concept are reliant on being situational. In other words, not intended to be an upgrade from the stock weapons, but instead more powerful in very specific instances. And the mindset of someone who doesn't seem to realize the purpose behind unlockable weapons in TF2 is something that appears to be pretty common.
He's so right with that. It's, for me, unlockable weapons are just like, oh, I like the direct hit. I feel like using the direct hit. I will use it. I mean, sometimes I will use the direct hit if I want to destroy a specific long range, sentry at a long range, because it's very good at that. But usually I'm just kind of like, I feel like Huntsman. But with Engineer, his unlockables are actually like, nah, dude, this is an actual straight up upgrade in the situation because it has this one thing. Like, Engineer's unlocks might be the most, and this is going to be taken out of context, some of the more cleverly designed unlocks in terms of they actually like have a very specific purpose, right? They have like, the Wrangler's purpose, the short circuits, it's all about the purpose. And it's like you can truly see a purpose between all of them and so many different maps and so many different situations. While a lot of other unlocks are just kind of like, oh, if you shoot someone, you go faster. But if you double jump, you lose the speed that you got from the thing. And it's like, oh, okay. I'm just saying Scout doesn't need upgrades per se. He's already very strong. But I'm just saying it's like Engineer specifically. Yeah, he is. It is like, think about your options. They are actually important. They aren't just memes. Basically what I'm saying, he doesn't have meme weapons, okay? Engineer doesn't really have any meme weapons. They are all like proper weapons that are valuable to him as a class. Which is interesting, but also hard for me to wrap my hand around.
Overall player base. Now this might be going off on a tangent here, but just because something is deemed the meta or widely regarded as being the best loadout doesn't mean it's the only loadout you should ever be using at all times. There are very specific...
Okay, the Southern Hospitality is also what I thought about first, but it's not a meme weapon. It's just a pointless weapon. There's a difference. There's a difference between meme weapon and pointless weapon, okay? Like... If the meme weapon was, wait, hold on. So yeah, by the way, I have to go. I'm realizing I have to go soon. Sorry, I'm like hearing people downstairs. I think I just have to go now. Dude, oh, I hate ending stream so abruptly, chat. Oh, I hate it. But This was really fun though. I never have done something where I just watch a bunch of streams like this or anything. But I really enjoyed it. And hey, exclamation NG notes in the chat if you want to check out these notes for yourself. Maybe apply them to your engineer gaming. But all I can tell you is that tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to play engineer thoughtfully, okay? The whole like Uncle Dane thoughts that we just got, we're going to apply them and just become the best NG, okay? It's happening. Tomorrow, it's happening. Playing games and learning and doing our best, okay? So that's for tomorrow. Sorry for the short stream, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.